You know, we've been tracking San Antonio for weeks, and we could just see the momentum building as these ticket sales were going and going. And this was phenomenal. We couldn't be more excited. This was a huge decision for us to bring a team to San Antonio. Jerry was so passionate about it. We did a tremendous amount of research and just wanted to connect to the city, and the city has come out in a massive way.
I mean, there was, early on when we were looking at all these cities and what makes sense, what markets make sense, and San Antonio was always very high on the list. And luckily, fortunately, Dany and I started my career here in San Antonio back when I was wrestling, and it helped shape me as a rookie. Just 2 months as a professional wrestler, I came right here to the Alamo Dome, and this is a tough place to come into. And so I have really fond memories. And what Dany and I talked about earlier when we shared this with Jerry was, I think if we create the right story and the right team, I think this city is really going to be hungry and passionate for it. And as Dany was saying, we just start to see the ticket sales come up, and to see almost, I think, 20,000 people here tonight, it's very special.
And Jerry, you had a specific opinion about Texas and having another.
Look, Texas is the heart of football nation, as you guys know, and we kicked off yesterday the 2023 season in Arlington and Houston. But coming here, I think we've been blown away. This atmosphere is absolutely electric. I was saying to Russ Brandon, our president, we'd love to be out with the tailgaters. These are real professional football fans, and we see it with all the electricity in the stadium. It's been great.
So what is it about San Antonio? You all three seem to love this city a lot. You said you started your pro career here. I've been here 20 years now. This is an amazing city. Why put a XFL team here?
Well, you can get down into some of the analytical data, but let's put that to a side. Every city is about spirit, and it's about culture and what's happened there and the passion and the type of people living in the city. And when we land in San Antonio, and DJ even speaking about starting his career here, those are defining moments. And that magic, we at the XFL, one of our things we have to do is unleash the dreams that football makes possible. We also cast wide nets to look where people aren't looking. Mm-hmm. And when you do that, you find gems. And San Antonio is a gem.
But San Antonio's been through this before. We've seen so many teams come and go
Absolutely.
over the years.
Not our team, not my team.
What were the indicators to you that this has a longevity? There's some stick-to-itiveness to this team in the city.
Well, to me, you got to give it a shot. You got to go with eventually your gut and your instinct. Sure, the city's been through it before, but as Dany said, a lot of times in the sports world, as you guys know, the market will get overlooked. But we wanted to take a shot. We did believe in it. We did have personal connections here that I never forgot, that I know Dany too as well, that helped shape and form. So you got to give it a shot. Who knows how it all shakes out? You never know. But, today is a great indicator that we got a shot.
It's an old saying, let the market speak. And the answer to your question really is with the fans. These fans appreciate NFL quality football and a great entertainment game that we're going to give them. And so we see that, and I think it validates everything that we put into this.
And then I'm so sorry, I just want to finish the question though, because we're talking fan. Now let's talk about ownership. So when we made this decision for the XFL, we didn't have a 1-year, 2-year plan. We have a 5 to 10 year plan about commitment and investing in the community and staying and building. And that's, I think that when you look at some of the successes and failures, you don't actually find that commitment, integrity, and the decision to invest capital, because it takes an investment, a financial investment and a commitment long term.
And you talk about ownership, and I'm going to get to your question right now, but speaking on behalf of ownership, as we are unbiased owners, my nickname was the Brahma Bull and still is in the world
unbiased.
Yeah, so completely unbiased. Hey, let's leave San Antonio. Let's name them the Brahmas. Anyway, go ahead. What's your question?
Who was your first pro match here against, and how'd that turn out?
It was the Royal Rumble. And I was in the company not even 2 months, and they made me the Intercontinental Champion. I became the youngest Intercontinental Champion in the history of the company at that time. I came here, and at that time, I'll share this with you guys because it's very important, because it did help shift and it did help mold me, is at that time, and Dany knows this very well, and Jerry, we've talked about this story, is when I first started in the WWE, I came out of University of Miami, great team down there. We won national championships, and we were balling down there. When I got into the WWE, Vince McMahon had told me, "You can't smile enough. You gotta smile." And I went, "Okay, all the time?" He goes, "Yeah." I said, "Even when I lose?" "Yeah." "I don't know. It doesn't feel right." And he goes, "I just want you to always be grateful." And I said, "Well, I am grateful always, but it doesn't feel right to smile." He said, "You gotta smile. I'm the boss. You gotta smile." So I was doing this nightly. So I finally get here, my first Royal Rumble. The place is sold out, 60, 65,000 people, whatever it is. I'm the Intercontinental Champion as a baby face, and in wrestling terms, that's a good guy. So everyone's supposed to cheer you. So I'm thinking, well, it's San Antonio. I got a good feeling about tonight. Royal Rumble, they call my name, my music hits, and I start to run out. And there's nothing more sobering when you hear boos when they're supposed to be cheering you. But anyway, and it was a good thing. What eventually I found out, and I had a great conversation with Vince, was I got to be myself, and that's the power of being myself and being authentic. So San Antonio was the first big event that really turned that for me.
Slapped you in the face and said, be yourself,
Be
brother.
myself. And I had to, after this night, go right to Vince McMahon and had a really big, important conversation with him.
Right, everybody are happy, but Texas especially have 3 teams, and in Texas we have a lot of Latin people. What can you say about the Latin people supporting the XFL?
Sure. Well, number one, I could say I married one, and then we had a
we got
child.
divorced.
Then we got divorced. Why is that funny? Yeah, but go ahead. Yes, you can answer it better.
It's everything. It's everything, right? As a Latina, I mean, this is, and the XFL and the diversity and inclusivity, I mean, this market and, you know, the Latinx market in sports and as fandom is growing, it's huge, and it's extremely important to us. So we like to say, you know, when we talk about diversity, when we talk about inclusivity, we don't stretch. It's just us. You know, this is how we live. This is how we see the world. And we make incredible strides in that manner. So, yeah, it's a commitment. It's absolutely important, and you're going to see it.
But why football? Of all the things you could invest in, of all the things you could put all your efforts towards, why football?
Well, football was a dream. Football was the dream for me and Dany. We were in college. We met at University of Miami, and she was lucky enough to align with me and support me. I was lucky enough, rather. Did I say she was lucky enough?
You did. It's going great.
It's going downhill fast. Somebody save me. Okay. I meant,
So you're the luckiest guy in the
I am
world.
the luckiest guy in the world. There you go. Thank you. I was very lucky. There we go. To have Dany so supportive, but that was the dream. Football was the dream because at that time, now I grew up in a world of pro wrestlers. My grandfathers, my dad, we used to live down here in Texas. He used to wrestle down here with the Guerreros and that entire family. So, but wrestling was much different back then. It wasn't this behemoth that it is today. Everyone was wrestling for cash on a nightly basis. So I didn't look at wrestling as the ticket on my way out. It was always football. University of Miami, great team. That never happened for me. It never happened for us. 1995 was our draft. And we waited in that house for 2 days, our little apartment, for a call from the NFL that never came. And I got goosebumps now thinking about that because it's very real. So that's why football.
But then also, let me just let Jerry's got to weigh in, because when it comes to football and professional football and everything is built, just tell them why.
Well, look, I mean, I've had a history of working with the NFL. I have a tremendous amount of respect for that league and the ownership. And we knew coming here that why football was so important and what we could do for the football ecosystem. You know, our goal here is to be a worthy partner, development partner for the NFL. And that's what you see we put together. And so we've not only done it with 2 of the best live event entertainers and storytellers on the planet, we also did it as a development partner with the league, and we've also done it with one of the best media companies in the world, in Disney and ESPN, who are, you know, very much part of the football ecosystem.
The
Nice
championship
to see your
game.
dream
Hold on
coming
one
into-
second.
Nice to see your dream coming into fruition, and you're here in San Antonio, and the crowd size is pretty big. How do you guys feel that you guys receive so much support from our community, you know, for today's game?
You know, first of all, it feels fantastic. This this decision, this was a soul decision for us. This wasn't just like, oh, what are we going to do with the numbers and where it's going to go and what's that final valuation? This was looking at a property. The first time I saw the 2.0 version, I was like, yes, there it is. Look at all those athletes. Look at every play matters. Look at what we could do if we owned it. And then we owned it. And, you know, we have been driven our entire careers by audience first. When you're in a wrestling ring, you have a 4-square circle, and you have to make that person happy or we don't eat. And, you know, we started out broke. And we had been in those seats, knowing how important it is to be entertained. So everything we learned and everything we believe in is about servicing the audience and servicing the fans. And when it comes to athletes, they are now part of that circle. So for us to have that trust from San Antonio, to have the trust from our media partners, to have the trust and faith of all the football universe to say, oh, you guys are doing something really special, it's an iconic moment. It's one of the greatest, I would say the greatest professional moment I have experienced in my life.
We know the championship game's going to be here in San Antonio. What all went into that decision being
This
made?
is the last question, guys.
Oh, great. Jared, you want to take that?
Well, I think you have to go out there into the stadium. I think, as I said before, the market has spoken. This is a phenomenal town for football. It's a great, diverse town, as we've talked about. It represents all the values and ideals of what we stand for as a league, as part of Football Nation, and so we led with that. It was an easy decision.
And we know when we have our fans come, we will obviously have fans coming from out of town. Not only is it going to be a great game, they're going to experience a great city until we get to that game, and that's really important as well.
Thank you so much.
Sure.
Hello, everybody. Stefania Jimenez here. Thank you so much for watching KSAT's YouTube channel. Keep up to date with all of San Antonio's top news, weather, and so much more by clicking the like and subscribe buttons below. And once again, thanks for watching KSAT.